Hey there, Saki here from SAKITECH, and in today's video we will do a full comparison between the iPhone XR versus the iPhone 8 Plus. Now the iPhone XR starts at $750 for a 64GB model, while the iPhone 8 Plus starts at $700 at 64GB. And of course, since the prices are so close, people who are shopping for an iPhone in this price range are wondering which one is the better option to buy. And of course, some people already own the iPhone 8 Plus and they're wondering if they should upgrade to the iPhone XR. So in this video, we will do a full, in-depth, side-by-side comparison and give you a crystal clear answer on which one to buy and why. So let's dive in and start by talking about the build and design. So here we have two very different looking smartphones. First of all, neither one of these smartphones is an ugly phone. They both look gorgeous and are built with high-end materials that give a premium in-hand sensation. The choice in which design you like will be a subjective element, but the XR does offer the newer and more radical all-screen design, although with a notch. Now some people like the notch, some people don't like the notch. The notch does house the Face ID system that allows you to unlock your XR with your face. The iPhone 8 Plus offers a more traditional look, but it does offer a very useful and practical home button on the front under the display that also happens to be a fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor, just like the Face ID sensor, works fast and without flaws, and it does have an irreplaceable appeal and also a practical appeal of having a fingerprint sensor on the front that allows you to easily unlock your smartphone even when it is sitting flat on the table. Now moving on, both smartphones are IP67 grade water resistant, which means they are well protected from accidental splashes of water and rainy days, and will even be fine in case of 30 minutes of water submersion up to 1 meters deep. They both also have dual stereo speakers that sound loud and rich. However, the XR does have the newer wide stereo speakers that will offer slightly more louder sound. Neither phone offers a 3.5mm headphone jack, but the 8 Plus does come with a Lightning to 3.5mm adapter, while the XR does not come with this accessory. That's a cost savings for you if you buy the 8 Plus. Now in this category, design will remain a subjective choice, but the XR takes a slight lead due to its louder stereo speakers, but it is in fact a very slight lead since the difference isn't too much. Now let's move on and talk about the processor, memory, and software. So the iPhone XR has an A12 Bionic Chip with 3GB of RAM and 64GB of base storage for $750. The iPhone 8 Plus has an A11 Bionic Chip with 3GB of RAM and 64GB of base storage for $700. Now if you look at these benchmarks, you will notice that the A11 is still quite a powerful processor with plenty of power to tackle heavy-duty tasks such as editing 4K videos or playing graphically rich games without a hitch. But the A12 is the newer processor, so it has even more power. I doubt most people will be using the A12 at full load more than 1% of the time, so be aware that both phones are quite capable to handle any heavy-duty task you throw at it. And of course, day-to-day use is almost identical with fast and snappy performance on both iPhones, especially because you're also using the same iOS 12 operating system on both. The iPhone 8 Plus does have the pressure-sensitive 3D touch functionality, while the iPhone XR does not, so you will not be able to access certain functions on the XR, such as quick actions when you press on app icons with a certain amount of pressure. Now in this category, the overall lead belongs to the XR due to its stronger processor, but like I said, it's not a big deal since the A11 Bionic is still the second fastest processor on the market. And of course, day-to-day operations are going to be approximately the same on both smartphones. Now let's move on and talk about the dimensions. So the iPhone XR measures 150.9mm in height, 75.7mm wide, and 8.3mm thick. It weighs 194 grams. The iPhone 8 Plus measures 158.4mm tall, 78.1mm wide, and 7.5mm thick. It weighs 202 grams. So the 8 Plus overall is the larger smartphone, but not by a huge margin. Both phones can be handled with one hand, but do require your second hand for maximum usability. Let's move on and talk about the display. So the iPhone XR has a larger 6.1-inch display with a resolution of 1792 by 828 and 326 pixels per inches. The iPhone 8 Plus has a smaller 5.5-inch display, although with a higher 1920 by 1080 resolution and 401 pixels per inches. The verdict on the display is that they're almost equal in quality, almost equal in maximum brightness and color accuracy. But the iPhone 8 Plus certainly has the sharper display. For example, if you look at text carefully, you will definitely notice that the text is going to look sharper on the 8 Plus and a little bit fuzzy on the XR if you pay attention. Remember, the XR has a larger display with a lower resolution, while the 8 Plus has a smaller display with a higher resolution. So of course it will be the sharper display. Neither phone has HDR capability. So in this category, the 8 Plus gains a slight lead in display sharpness. Now let's move on and talk about the battery. The iPhone 8 Plus has a battery capacity of 2,961, while the iPhone XR has a battery capacity of 2,942. And although both phones offer impressive battery life, the iPhone XR is going to last approximately 30 minutes to 1 hour longer than the 8 Plus. This slight lead is because the XR has a lower resolution than the 8 Plus, which saves on battery because the XR gets to process less pixels. However, the difference is not that dramatic. 8 Plus is known and proven for solid battery life as well. Expect to receive full battery life with both of these smartphones with a little bit left over on the XR. But facts are facts, the XR pulls ahead with a slight lead. Now let's talk about the camera. So the iPhone 8 Plus has a dual camera system. The primary camera is a wide-angle camera. It is 12 megapixels with f1.8, while the secondary camera is a telephoto camera, also 12 megapixels with f2.8. The XR has a single camera system. It is a 12 megapixel camera with f1.8. The primary camera on the XR is slightly better than the primary camera on the iPhone 8 Plus, which is natural because it has a newer sensor. However, for the average consumer, the difference is going to be negligible. Photos taken from both smartphones will satisfy just about anyone, whether they're daytime photos or nighttime photos. And as far as video capabilities are concerned, both phones offer similar options and they're great options. You get to record at 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second or 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second. Now the iPhone 8 Plus does have the secondary camera that allows for 2x optical zoom and some more advanced portrait capabilities. Now the XR does not have 2x optical zoom, but it does have some more limited portrait shot capabilities if you are into that kind of photography. In the end, both cameras are quite capable and will deliver excellent quality photo and video. And although the XR is slightly better, the 8 Plus counters that with having two lenses, so this category is a bit of a draw. If you are a front camera lover, the XR offers a slightly more advanced front-facing camera because it uses the tech built inside the Face ID system in that notch. So with the XR, you can take portrait shots using the front camera as well, but it's nothing compared to the quality of the rear camera portraits. And of course, both front-facing cameras are 7 megapixels with f2.2. Now let's move on and tie everything together in a conclusion. So the iPhone XR is the newer smartphone. It has minor leads here and there. It has a slightly stronger A12 Bionic processor, slightly louder stereo speakers, and a slightly better battery life. And that's about it. It's $750 and it does have a larger display. The display does have a notch, which is not as immersive as non-notch displays, especially while watching videos. And of course, the 8 Plus has a few leads over the XR as well. It has a sharper display and has a secondary camera. It is $700. Now, the price difference of $50 between the two is irrelevant. It is too small to even consider for decision making. You can buy either phone if you're in the $700 budget range. Both phones have amazing build quality and a premium sensation. Neither one feels cheap. One offers a super fast and reliable Face ID system, and the other one offers an equally fast and reliable fingerprint sensor. So how do you make a decision between two iPhones that are on average equal to each other? The answer is very simple. You will have to decide based on looks and ergonomics. So the question is, do you like the newer look of the iPhones with a semi all-screen display with a notch, and a Face ID system, or do you like the traditional look of the iPhone 8 Plus with a frontal fingerprint sensor and no notch? And that's the bottom line, because no matter what phone you choose, you are getting a pretty good smartphone as long as you're shopping for iPhones. So might as well look at the two and pick the one that pleases your gaze. And obviously, if you already have an iPhone 8 Plus and you're thinking of upgrading to the iPhone XR, there is no need. Just keep the iPhone 8 Plus, you'll be fine. And that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think about my conclusion, and of course let me know which phone you chose and why in the comments down below. And do not forget to subscribe to SAKITECH for more videos to come. And finally, if you do use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow me on all at SAKITECH Online. Guys, have a fantastic day.